Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Matt Garvey and we are here to talk about making comics today. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing what is a call to action or a call to adventure in comics, and also what is an inciting incident, because this is going to confuse you. Not only are both of these things separately, they are also the same thing as well. So if you don't know what any of these terms are, please do not worry. There is no shame in that. This is exactly what this channel is about. It's about learning. So this is what I'm here to help you guys do. I wanted to do a video to explain what these are, because if you missed last week's video, and don't worry if you did, it's going to come up at the end of this video, but if you did see last week's video, I explained that, to hook your comic book readers, you need to do something exciting in those first 4 pages to grab their attention. And this can be a joke, but it can also be a call to adventure or an inciting incident. So what is a call to adventure? Well, a call to adventure is something, possibly an inciting incident, that pushes our character out the door on their journey. So if we were talking about film, for example, this is Frodo leaving the Shire, going to destroy the ring in Mount Doom, which for him is an inciting incident. But one of the other inciting incidents is the ring being created in its first place. Another one is the ring getting lost, and all the other stuff that goes on. So an inciting incident does not need to directly happen to your protagonist, but the ramifications will impact that call to adventure at a later date. So if we were talking about this in comic book terms, and we looked at someone like Spider-Man, for example, the inciting incident for Peter Parker is Peter gets bitten by a radioactive spider. But that's not his call to adventure. Yes, that inciting incident does have ramifications later on because he's now got superpowers. But Peter's call to adventure comes when Uncle Ben is murdered. Peter goes and confronts the killer, and then realizes that killer is the guy that he let go before. And based on that, I'm going to say it, with great power becomes great responsibility. That is Peter's call to adventure. It's that inciting incident, not the biting of the spider, the murder of Uncle Ben, that pushes Peter out the door and forces him to become the hero that he was meant to be. So they're two separate things. They're two inciting incidents, but one directly affects the character and pushes him out the door, and one just has ramifications of what happens to the character. Now, another example of this is someone like Green Lantern. The inciting incident of that is, Abin Sur, alien crash lands on planet Earth and he's dying. That's an inciting incident. But that doesn't directly affect Hal Jordan. It affects Hal Jordan when Abin Sur sends the ring out to find someone that's worthy to take his place, and then that's the part that pushes Hal Jordan out the door to becoming a Green Lantern. The first part doesn't affect him directly, but has ramifications that affect him in the long term. So it's a separate inciting incident, but leads to that call to adventure. Then we have characters on the flip side, like Batman, and we all know the story of the Wayne family getting gunned down outside the cinema. And at that point, not only are the family killed, but, Bruce Wayne, in effect, dies in himself, and the persona of Batman is created to begin his war on terror. Batman doesn't become Batman, for years later on, because he obviously needs the training and the skills to do so. But it's that call to adventure and inciting incident in one go where it happens. But, and you're going to hate me for saying this, if you have read any of the old detective comics, where Batman first appeared, you'll see that actually in the first Batman story, we don't actually get Batman's origin story. We have an inciting incident where a man called Lambert is murdered, and Batman helps to solve that crime. And we don't actually get Batman's origin. We don't actually get Batman's call to adventure until 5 or 6 actual issues later. So again, you don't need to have that origin be that inciting incident. And using, one of my own comics, for example, I showed it in last week's video, but me and my buddy J. Francis Totti do a comic called Big F Off Worms. And, in that comic, in the first 4 pages, we have a joke on the first page, and then we have an inciting incident on, pages 2 and 3 that explain how the giant worms came to be. Then on page 4, we have another joke, and it's not till around, pages 5 or 6 do we have that inciting incident that's also a call to adventure, of Peter becoming the hero that he needs to be as well. So hopefully that explains it in a little bit more detail, but I just wanted to let you know that, when you're going out there and you're plotting your comic, and you're setting up to hook your audience in your first 4 pages, your inciting incident does not necessarily have to be your call to adventure. One can be different, but it's usually going to have some ramifications later on when you do your call to adventure. So hopefully I haven't made that more confusing for yourselves, and hopefully you found that interesting. If you have, give us a like, share, and a subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. And remember, if I can make comics, anyone can. Take care.